Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Just making some notes here. March, June, September, and December. How are you this evening? Glad to have you along with us as we get ready for Christmas here. Hey, Mad Jack, how are you? We'll turn that off right there. Mad Jack, nice to have you along with us. As always, watching over on YouTube. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Craig. Jim checking in from Tennessee. Brent, Lori, Scott, Mike, Randy. We'll have a good crew tonight, as we almost always do. Bob, Elliot, nice to have you along with us. Hello, Jim. How are you? Tim? Tim, I can't get over the place you guys bought. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Lance Valentine, teaching fishing. Blessings for a great holiday season. Same to you. Jim, Bernie, Dave, Mike. It is a chilly evening. Elliot wants to jump right into it. Elliot says, Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Hump day. Big bucks everywhere, Tim says. Tim, you say that, you're going to have a lot of friends coming over to see you. Billy, good evening. How are you? Bob, Cody, Kevin, checking in from Bridgeport. Crappy weather, Scott says. It is chilly. It's chilly, that's for sure. So what is coming up tonight? Good evening to you, Robert. Nice to have you along with us. By the way, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. This is something I've done every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for the last 5 or 6 years. And we have some plans. We're going to get back on the road. Jason, good evening. How are you, buddy? Rick, Ron. Not on your property. Bonita Springs. Oh, way to go. Way to go. Rub it right in. The Wednesday Night Lives we used to do in person before the world changed. And we used to do them. We started out at Oscar and Joey's restaurant. Wild Game Chef Dave Miner's Oscar and Joey's restaurant. Then we expanded it to the Lumberjack up in West Branch. Well, Dave is still pretty much understaffed, so we're not going to try to do a live at his place. However, plans are right now for the first Wednesday in March, June, September, and December. We're going to do Wednesday Night Lives at the Lumberjack restaurant in West Branch. Details as they become available. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Good evening. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Boy, it is just around the corner now, isn't it? Tim says yes. Tim and Jen will be there. I know they will. Tim, I think you guys have been to everywhere. Feeling better. Yeah. I had a real bad case of the crud, but I think this weather's not helping us, right? This up and down roller coaster. I know my sinuses are just. Tony, how are you, buddy? Merry Christmas to your family as well. Lori says she's missed seeing everybody. Merry Christmas to you, Ted. What are we going to do tonight here? We're going to talk about the rundown for this weekend's radio show. We're going to answer a couple of questions, all but the first one. Brent says he and Tracy will be there. Excellent. I haven't seen Tracy in forever. Martin, how are you? Stacy and Jay will be there. I know we'll get a good crowd. This year now, the folks at Alpha Media have jumped on board and they want to help promote it. I'm going to set it up. Hey, Chad, how are you? Merry Christmas to your family as well. I'm going to set it up to see if the Avery viewers don't get first shot at the tickets. Martin, what'd you miss? Starting in 2022, the first Wednesday in March, June, September, and December, we're going to go live for Wednesday Night Live at the Forward Corporation Lumberjack restaurant in West Branch. Need some ice, huh? So tonight we're going to talk about this weekend's Outdoor Magazine radio show. We're going to answer a couple of questions. We're going to wrap up our Ham for the Holidays giveaway. In fact, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand is standing by. We'll bring him on in just a few minutes. It's time to give Nick a break and give the Grillo family a break. They've been giving away hams here every week since right after Halloween, I think. And we will likely pick back up for Lent, as far as I know. So this will be the last one. So this is your chance tonight to win the last Michigan Brand ham for the holidays. See any bucks? Stacy, I have not been out. Have not been out. It's my intent to go out either next Monday or next Thursday at my buddy Scott Hand's property and try to shoot a doe. And that'll be my last hurrah for the season. And then I'll start thinking about turkey season. Brian says the Michigan Brand ham is amazing. They are. I got 2 lined up here for the Avery household for Christmas, as we do every Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. We've always got Michigan Brand hams here. Some nice bull elk pics on the Facebook page. They are. I'm doing great, Danny. How are you? Speaking of bull elk, time is running out to apply for the Pure Michigan Hunt. You have until December 31st. Time also running out, by the way, to jump in on the Versa Skins promotion. Go to the website, versaskins.com, versaskins.com. Use the promo code Avery. Any insight as to why late doe season is firearm only on private? No, Josh, none. And I'm not being smart. I really don't know. Jerry says, great company. Thanks, Grillo family. They are. Jim Felgenauer, good evening. How are you, my friend? Oh, what else? Stacy says, perch on the bay. Where'd you go, Stacy? Perch on the bay. Now, Jamie says, thank you, Nick Grillo and Mike, for our Christmas dinner ham. They came yesterday. In fact, Jamie went out steelhead fishing today or yesterday and caught a nice steelhead, and he threw it back because he didn't need the meat because he had a Michigan Brand ham, so he could throw the steelhead away. Good evening, Ted. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Merry Christmas. Frosty and the elf on the shelf say my grandkids deserve. Vicky, hold tight. You're too early. Hold tight. That's a great comment, but you just wasted it. Hold tight. We don't make comments about winning a Michigan Brand ham until the contest is officially opened, and it will be in about 8 minutes. Bob says, can't wait to find the first deer shed of the new year, waiting for shallow ice fishing. There have been some sheds reported already. Jamie said it was his personal best. 33 inches, almost a 12-pound fish. That's a beautiful fish. Out of the St. Joe, right? Mike says, probably I discussed, but just read about walleye fishing year-round. Only, Mike, the only change they're proposing, and this is interesting, and Jim Felgenauer might jump in here. The only change they're proposing for walleye fishing is to open up the lower Saginaw River to walleye fishing during what used to be a spawning closure. They thought they had to protect those spawning fish. But then for some reason, a DNR commissioner decided that wasn't the case, and he got the ball rolling to open it up. However, since the biologists are against it, they pushed it back until 2023. It does not start in 2022. What does it tell you if you got a DNR commissioner pushing for something that the an NRC commissioner pushing for something that the DNR biologists are not in favor of? Remember something called the Sound Scientific Wildlife Management Act? I think it was Proposal G that we all fought so hard for. Ed says he's not wild about that. Well, I don't know what to think, Ed. I'm not a biologist, but I will tell you this. If we don't need to protect the spawning fish there, why don't we open everything up year-round? Every tributary that runs into Saginaw Bay, the Cawcawan included. Isn't there a recommendation that only so many meals per year on walleye out of Saginaw? I think there is, Brian. I'm doing great, George. How are you? 6 minutes till we give away a Michigan Brand, or till we start the contest to give away a Michigan Brand ham. Matt says seems a little odd. Brad says he doesn't need to be there. I would not want there's certain positions in Michigan you couldn't pay me enough money for. One would be the DNR director. One would be the DNR big game specialist overseeing the deer population, and another would be an NRC commissioner. Why would anybody want one of those positions? Because you can't win. You cannot win. By the way, it's officially wintertime now, if you haven't noticed. The good news about that is the days are going to start getting longer. Ross, my day was excellent. How about you? Jim says, at least not now. Concern is declining catch rates in Saginaw watershed. Need one more year of data to establish a definite trend in population. Yes, I see what you're saying, Jim. Jim is saying at least it's not right now. At least it got pushed back a year to 2023. Evening, Billy. How are you? Yeah, I wouldn't want the governor's job either. Of course, if I was the governor, I would have kept my nose out of things a lot more than she did. Busy. Hey, Ross, well, you're at year end. You're at month end and year end. Matt says he'd love to give it a shot. Which one, Matt? We will push for you to take that office. Which one are you looking for? 4 minutes till we open the Michigan Brand Ham contest. Johnny Bowler, good evening, buddy. How aren't you? How are you? I was looking at this. Aren't most of the positions appointed by the governor? Yeah. DNR director and NRC commissioners are. Not the wildlife biologist, thank God. At least I don't think so, not overtly. Johnny, it doesn't matter if you're late, only that you're here. That's all that matters, my friend. The same thing with Jeff. Lance, because about 80% of Saginaw spawn from the data I have found in the tributaries and not in the bay itself. Okay, let me reread this. Because about 80% of the Saginaw spawn is in the tributaries and on the bay itself. That stretch that is being proposed to be opened is not a major spawning area. And remember, every fish you kill in the summer isn't spawning either. We have a very wrong attitude towards spawn. I agree. I did, Ed. I did a podcast with John Azoga, the podcast version of the radio show. Lance, I would never disagree with you on something like this. I just don't like the way it was done. And if it's, and were they spawning there when it was originally declared a spawning closure? I don't know. Something just doesn't seem right. Did you get the message from Bill we are in? No, I didn't. I just assumed it, Johnny. By the way, everybody going to Ohio with us next year, I can't make those dates. We have to change them. I'm just kidding you. All right, let's bring in my friend Nick Grillo from Michigan Brand Meats. Good evening, Nick. How are you, buddy?
Good, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Listen, how you feeling? I know you got a bad throat. You've been under the weather. You're drinking. How you feeling?
Good. Can't complain. Yeah, I just one thing after another. This fall, I've just been sick, and I just can't seem to shake it. Just 'tis the season, I guess, huh?
Well, and this weather, like I was saying earlier, up and down, and your body just doesn't know what to get used to.
Yep, exactly. I think that's what it is. But yep.
Well, Nick, I'm glad. I appreciate you joining us. And also, listen, I appreciate the generosity of you and the Grillo family of Michigan Brand. You've given away an awful lot of hams so far this year, and you're going to give away another one tonight, the last one for the season, right?
Yep. Last one before Christmas here, and we'll do it again in Easter.
Okay, we will.
Love doing these. It's fun to do it with you guys, and we obviously love being on here every week to see the comments. And a lot of them obviously want to win a ham, but they're genuine. They're nice comments. Everybody, we get a lot of grateful customers. Speak of the devil, there's a couple right there that are great, and not obviously fans of just you, but fans of Michigan Brand too. So it's great.
Well, listen, it's a great partnership. Look, we become friends, family friends, love working with you guys. So it's great all the way around. So what we're going to do now is when I give the high sign here, we're going to open up the contest and people are going to make a comment about why they want to win a Michigan Brand ham. I will tell you folks, to make it easier on Nick, please don't say you're going to give it to a needy family. because though that is a very honorable thing to do, it really makes it almost impossible for Nick. So make your comments clever, make them witty. One quick question. Vince wants to know, where can he find hams in the metro area? He's going to have to buy those online, isn't he, Nick?
Yeah, yep. We don't have anything really that far down. I'll have to look again to see where the closest might be, but you're talking not that close at all. Probably an hour
Yeah.
away from you, still north. Yep.
Yeah, well, like go to michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net, use the promo code Avery21 to save a few bucks and get them online.
Exactly. And just a friendly reminder, we have it until the end of the year. So January 1st, it's done. But we have 10% off online for all the hams. You can still use the Mike21 promo on top of that. So essentially, you could get 20% off everything, your whole order for Mike Avery. And then you can get 10% off your ham on top of that. So if you did want to buy ham, that'd be a great idea.
So does the Mike 21 continue into next year?
It does.
It
Yep.
does. Okay. All right. All right, my friends. Hey, Sam, how you doing? How are things at Jace? All right. The contest starts right now. You have 2 minutes to make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Johnny Bowler's in there. Kelly's in there. Martin says once Kelly's in there, Kelly's the one who will win. Stacy wants to win. Dave wants to win. Jim wants to win. Cliff does. Oh, Sam's in there. Sam I am is in there. It was nice to see you the other day as well, Laura. Who gives us? Bill wants to win one. Anthony says he wants one because he looks like a ham. Jamie says, please, we love ham. We love ham. And her husband, Jamie's husband, wants to win a Rapid River Night, but we're not giving one of those away tonight. A minute 30 on the Michigan brand hams. 1:30 on the Michigan brand hams. VG's and Howell, I believe, have them, Dan says. Stacy says she loves the ham. Sounds right. Michigan brand ham and a white V. I don't know what I want, a hippopotamus for Christmas, but I'd take a ham, Michigan brand as well. Send me a ham. Make me a fan. 1 minute on the Michigan brand ham comments. Why would you like to win a Michigan brand ham for Christmas? Michigan brand ham for the holidays. We're going to give away one last ham here in just a couple of minutes. Nick has been so generous. The Grillo family has been so generous. I love these hams. Jason wants a ham. I love these hams. In fact, I'll be honest with you. Nick would give the Avery family a ham if we wanted them. I love them so much. We go out and we buy Michigan brand hams every holiday because we love them so much. 30 seconds on the Michigan brand hams, 30 seconds. Although if Nick wants to throw a few Mike Avery Hunter sticks my direction, I will accept those. 30 seconds on the hams. 30 seconds. Mike Avery Expo in 2018. Yeah, we're not going to do that again. The first one went very well. Second one, not so much. So if we can't do it right, we're not going to do it. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Jeff wants in. John wants in. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. I haven't seen John Callison on here, our official timer. 4, 3, 2, 1. Can't do it tonight. Martin makes an interesting comment I want to follow up on. He says, I bought Mike Avery Hunter sticks and they raised the price at Forward Shell. We'll talk with Nick about that in just a minute. But the price is still worth it. Absolutely, they are. Okay, Nick, when you get a chance here, let me know who is the winner this week, the last winner of the Michigan brand ham for the holidays, as we take a few weeks off and get ready for Lent. I will tell you while Nick is looking at this, this is not something that just Forward did. Because of the state of the industry and the world today, because prices have gone up so much to Michigan. I know, 15 seconds. I know it was very weak, very weak. But they had to raise prices. But everybody's had to raise prices. That's just the way it is right now with the way the world is, the shortage of workers, the shortage of supplies. And so, yes, when I went to buy some Mike Avery Hunter sticks the other day, I think I paid $1 more a bag. But it is what it is. Lori says everybody is raising prices right now. Martin says it's spelled Martin. Ross says, I think we should talk about doing another expo, Mike. We can talk about it, Ross. I'm not in. I was embarrassed by the last one. First one was great. I was embarrassed by the second one. All right, Nick, you ready for our winner?
Yes, sir.
Who we got?
I just put in the name as well so we can see it on the comment.
What is this? What is this?
Yeah, we decided to have a little Christmas fun today, and since this is the last one for the year, we said let's go big. Let's do 4 winners tonight. So we actually picked 4 winners for tonight that we're gonna do Christmas hams for.
Oh, that's wonderful! It's like a Christmas present to our listeners, to our viewers.
Yep.
All right, so we've got Brian Armstrong.
Yep. Congrats, Brian.
Robert Cahoon.
Robert. Yep.
Stacy Matthias.
Yep.
I recognize all these names. And Mike Harner. Okay, folks. You folks who won, if you would send me a private message or directly to Nick, he's on here, a private message with your shipping address. Now, listen, you're not going to get these hams by Christmas. It's not going to happen. But Correct. Nick will get them out as soon as possible. And Nick, 4 hams. What a nice surprise that is.
Yep. So we were talking actually just earlier today, my parents, and then we reached out to you and we said, let's do something like this. It'd be fun. So we thought we'd have a little fun and play it off like it's just a normal night with only 1 ham. And then we threw out the 4 winners. So like I said, it's another little Christmas fun and we're happy to do it and love being part of the Ham for Holidays.
Well, we love to have you guys. And yes, I was in on it. I did know it was coming. Yep. So Nick, listen, first of all, get better. Merry Christmas to you and the entire Grillo family. I'll send people to the website, michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. You can use the promo codes there. And next time we talk, maybe you and I would talk about turkey season.
Yeah, that's coming up real fast, isn't it?
It sure is.
Ice fishing is one thing, but I'm kind of with you. I'm getting to that point where I still love winter, but I really look forward to spring. So that turkey I'm just itching to hear those gobbles again.
The older I get, honestly, I don't like winter as much. I always thought it was the old fuddy-duddy way of looking at things, but I don't mind the cold. I just don't like the snow. But I know a lot of people do. Regardless, we will hang tight for turkey season, and it'll get nice, and we'll be back out on the angler quest.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, definitely can't wait to go for walleye limits with you in the summer again.
All right, I will look forward to it as well. Again, thank you, Nick. Merry Christmas to you and the entire Michigan Brand family, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank you. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats. What a great, great guy. Scott says, screw the cold. Cliff says, thanks, Nick, for supporting Mike's show. Nick and the old fuddy-duddies unite. Nick and the entire Grillo family not only support my show, and I appreciate that, but they're huge proponents of the outdoors in general. They are hardcore enthusiasts and participants themselves, hardcore hunters and anglers, and they do what they can to promote hunters and anglers and to support hunters and anglers. And for that, I am very, very thankful to be working with them. Hey, Johnny. Busy guy tonight. Who's a taxidermist? No busier tonight, John, than normal. That was Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy, linwoodtaxidermy.com, linwoodtaxidermy.com, which leads me into an interesting point, and I appreciate that, John. Let me tell you who's on the show this week, and then I'll answer this week's Ask Avery question, which was brought in. John, where were you, man? I did a 45-second buzzer, and you weren't there to record it, so it was wasted. Hey, Greg, how are you? 45 seconds, and because there was no official documentation, it didn't count. Thanks for letting me down, John. We kick off the show this week. Oh, Johnny, don't even pull it. Johnny says, I have to go and not to Andy's. Andy's is a very famous bar right around the corner from Johnny's place. Listen, guys, don't out me here. 45 seconds. It was 45 seconds because John Callison was not there to officially document it. This week's Outdoor Magazine radio show that airs on 32 stations across the great state of Michigan, Cody Norton of the DNR is my first guest. He talks about cougars in the UP. He talks about bears, and not the cougars that hang around Andy's there, Johnny. And he talks about wolves. Let me just say something here once again. I hear this all the time. People are mad at the DNR because they brought wolves to the UP. The wolves that are in the UP right now were not brought there by the DNR. The DNR back in the 60s did bring in 4 wolves as an experiment, and the locals killed them all. Well, the locals killed 3 of them, and a car got the 4th one. Scott says he's going to call Andy's and see if Johnny's there. Johnny Bowler, Johnny will come and answer the phone. You and I both know he will, Scott. The wolves that are in the UP right now were brought there by Mother Nature. Ross, all 3 of them are working perfectly. Thank you for asking. All it took was a few parts to make it happen. All the way from the UK. Rob, somebody already asked, Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Chilly in the north up on White River. You bet it is. It's chilly down here tonight, Rob. So the wolves that are there were brought there by Mother Nature. I hear stories all the time. People say, I saw the DNR release wolves. One of the dumbest, most stupid stories I've ever heard in my life was from a guy who told me to my face with a straight face and told me he was fishing a lake in northern Michigan several years ago. A small inland lake in northern Michigan. He says the game warden swooped in on the lake and they pushed everybody off the lake. They banned them from fishing on the lake. And honest to goodness, he said, black helicopters came in from the sky, dropped down, and released wolves. He said he saw it with his own eyes. Well, I would say probably knock down the hallucinogenics a little bit, hallucinogens a little bit, and maybe take the tinfoil hat off. You like that guy? That's John Azoga. Very, very interesting guy. Mrs. Callison, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, John's mama. Happy birthday to you. Weatherman said 78 degrees Friday in Northeast Oklahoma. Who we talking, Jeff? Who we talking? I'm not, Rob. Just thank you for the song. Actually, what she's saying is, oh my God, I could have done without that. The whole family enjoyed it. I bet they did. I bet. But Ross is going to be up there, Rob. He's going to try to take one with his crossbow. So anyway, we're gonna talk. He ate too many CBD gummy bears. Yeah, isn't that something? The stories people tell, and I don't know, and the stuff that like people are gullible, really gullible. And then Tom Campbell, the guy who told the story, no, but he has the same sense of reality maybe as the guy who was elected president. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News wraps up the hour. In hour number 2, we're talking fishing with Mark Romanak of Fishing 411. Dave Hopp of the DNR talks about their partnership with the Warden's TV show. A new season kicks off New Year's Eve at 8 o'clock. This week's Ask Avery segment, I'll come back to it. In hour number 3, we're talking about bobcat hunting with dogs, with hounds, with Jordan Farmer, and we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. Couple of points here. Dave Miner made a comment at the end of the show, and it caught me completely off guard, as many of Dave's comments do. I set him up perfectly. I said, Dave, yada, 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 boom. He could have picked it up and ran with it. Instead, he comes back and said, Mike, isn't it terrible those elk that died, that drowned on that lake? Because I didn't know it was coming, I told him what I think with no filters. And what I think is, yeah, it's a shame those elk drowned. What I really think is, if they were that stupid that they didn't realize the ice was too thin to walk on, maybe they shouldn't be in the gene pool to begin with. If a wild animal cannot discern that they're risking their life by walking on ice that is not ready to be walked on, do we really miss them that much? And beside that, the money went to the meat went to needy families. I don't feel too bad for an elk that's so stupid he doesn't drown himself. That's so stupid he drowns himself. I can't get too worked up about that. But I look at things differently. I also think there's no reason ever they were dropped off by black helicopters on the ice. Ross, comment of the night. That's how they got out there. They were dropped off on the ice by black helicopters. That's all right, Dave. You're here. That's all that matters. So that's one comment. Okay. The Ask Avery segment this week was suggested by some guy named Craig Plowman. Do you know Craig? I think I ran into him. Sorry, late tonight in the stew. You're set to next week to harvest the dough. I'm looking forward to it, Scott. Looking forward to it. Ross said he saw it with his own eyes. I didn't know. Well, how many did you find, Bob? How many were in Midland County? Interesting. Some guy named Craig Plowman. I hear he's a really great guy. He sent me some questions. He sent them to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Two things. It's a twofer this week. He said, when you're talking to the owner of Linwood Taxidermy, he said a mount would last 40 years if properly maintained. What should be done to properly maintain? Keep it clean. Avoid big swings in temperature. That's basically it. Clean it. I wipe mine off with a damp cloth. I've actually taken a vacuum hose up there and vacuum the dust off that way. Just wipe them down. Wipe them down every once in a while. Avoid temperature extremes. If you're running a wood burning fireplace and you run it a lot, or a gas fireplace and you run it a lot, maybe you shouldn't put mounts above your fireplace. Having said that, if we walk around the corner, I've got 3 whitetail mounts above my fireplace. So do as I say, not as I do. You don't want them freeze and thaw. Keep them at a relatively stable temperature and just keep them clean. They'll keep them looking nicer. The second part, have you got out lately, or is the cold? No, the cold hasn't run me off. In fact, I was walking yesterday morning. I'll go out and do my morning walk this morning. I've got clothes that can handle the cold. My schedule hasn't allowed, but I will be out next week at Scott Hand's place. Jeff Hammond says, his folks sent me a home video from the 60s where his grandfather and a game warden were pulling a deer from a bay in Spring Lake. Animals fall through the ice a lot. And what do you say, Jeff? Should we go out there and try to, well, obviously, if it's safe, we should try to rescue them. But if an animal falls through the ice and dies, isn't that part of Mother Nature? Should the state collectively be dismayed because we lost some elk who fell through the ice? I don't think so. Second part of Craig Plowman's question. If you lease property, Dave says something interesting. My wife used to dust ours off, hang them outside for a day in the summer to air them out. There you go. Second part of Craig Plowman's question. If you lease property, can you call the DNR if you encounter a trespasser? I got to pull up my texts here. Because I want to make sure I quote Lieutenant Jason Wickland. Okay, so Craig says, if you lease property, can you call the DNR if you encounter a trespasser? The answer to that from Lieutenant Jason Wickland of the DNR is yes. The leasee has the same rights as the landowner. Different types of trespass. Criminal trespass is when you tell them to leave and they don't, or they come back. Recreational trespass means they're just they're trespassing on posted land or an enclosed farmland. Written permission is the easiest to prove. So get written permission if you can from the landowner that you have permission. Shoot them and eat them. Exactly. It's like Walt Disney didn't do us any favors when he anthropomorphized wild animals to make them appear to be human. They're wild animals. In many ways, they're smarter than us. In some ways, they're dumber than us. Although every year we lose humans to go through the ice because they weren't smart enough to stay off a piece of ice they shouldn't have either. Boy, I'm really getting myself in trouble tonight, aren't I? What else is on my list here tonight? Oh, I mentioned the Wednesday night lives. No, Ross. If you don't own it, here's the way it stands. If it's not marked public land, which would be state, federal, or city, if it's not marked public land and you don't have permission to be on it, you can't be on it. It does not have to be marked, is my understanding, is what I've been told. Sam called the DNR on trespassers on land he leased with his brother, and the guys got tickets. I hope you say hopefully the trespassers got tickets, right? Yeah, well, Darwin wins a lot of different cases, eh? Good evening, Mark. How are you? Mike says, that's correct. He says, you are correct, sir. Who used to say that? Ed McMahon to Johnny? You are correct, sir. Falling through the ice. It's like the chlorine for the gene pool. Interesting way of looking at it. Couple of thoughts here. If I don't get the big doe try, you can give the dart a try in a big time in the spring. Okay, it was the trespassers. Good. With that dart and crossbow, I did kill a nice bear in Ontario. I have not killed a deer yet with it. I do anticipate having a reasonable shot at killing a doe next week over at Scott Hand's place. And springtime, I will be out there until I kill a bird. Maker's Mark, not yet. Soon. Okay, a couple of things here about the holidays. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I say Merry Christmas. I don't say season's greetings. I don't say Happy Holidays. I say Merry Christmas. I mentioned this last week, but I'm going to follow up on it. And if it makes you uncomfortable, I used to say, if this makes you uncomfortable, I apologize. I don't apologize. I don't apologize for saying what I believe. Christmas, of course, is a time for Santa Claus. It's a time for presents, gift wrap presents, because we've already gotten the ultimate present. It's a time for Christmas trees. I get it. I have nothing against Santa Claus. But please, as we go into these next few days, keep in mind the real reason for Christmas. It's the birth of a Savior. God gave us a present, the ultimate present. He gave us Jesus, the birth of a Savior. And can't we all use some saving right now? The world is a wonderful, beautiful place. But it's also kind of a crazy place right now. I could not get through my days. I could not get through my weeks. I couldn't get through my month. I couldn't get through my life without help from above. So please keep that in mind. Christmas is about more than Santa Claus and Rudolph. Company's here. Company's here, Ross says. Okay, so that's what I say. That's what I believe. And so I share those thoughts. I share what I believe. And apparently at least some of you agree with that. The other thing is, as we get ready to move into the new year, I have set some goals for myself, not resolutions, because resolutions are broken. These are goals. My goals for 2022. I want to spend more time outdoors. I want to kill a Michigan bear. I want to learn some new fishing techniques and some new areas. I'm going to revisit the arbitrary rod restrictions on Great Lakes trolling anglers. I let it slide for a while, but since nothing is happening, it's time to get back on that bandwagon. There's no reason for unnecessary laws anywhere. That's why I a pastor. not officially through the Lutheran Church, but through the what is it? What am I ordained through? The National Christian Church, which has allowed me to do 3 weddings and a funeral. Lance jumped in with both feet. I appreciate that, brother. I want to get rid of those rod restrictions. I think there's no reason for it. And I want to continue to grow this, whatever this is that I do. Is it the Outdoor Magazine franchise? Is it the Mike Avery Outdoors franchise? I don't know how to be put in a box anymore. But I want to continue to do everything I can to encourage people to get outside, to encourage people to get out hunting and fishing, to protect, defend, encourage the outdoor lifestyle. Relay 96. Thank you, Lance. Michigan Bear, he's a year away from pulling the Drummond Island unit. I could, Brian, you are more patient than I am. I couldn't do it. I've learned that what I want to do is I want to hunt bears every other year. So I put in for a Seney 3rd season every year, and I should be able to get it every other year. I know that, Tony. Congrats. That's very cool. Jim is looking forward to the live events. Yeah, we're coming back. Again, if you're just joining us, the plan is right now, unless who knows what, the plan is right now, the first Wednesday in March, June, September, and December, we will do our Wednesday night lives at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch, the Forward Corporation Lumberjack Restaurant. I will have details as they become available. You will get first shot at tickets because this year Alpha Media has jumped on board and helping. This is the SGWs and the Moose and that group of radio stations. But we're going to make sure you, my friends, get first shot at this. So that'll be fun, right? It'll be nice to get back on that. Jeff says he's a grown. Well, where'd we go? Jeff says he's a grown man, and he tear ups when he hears Linus and Charlie Brown Christmas. My favorite town, West Branch. John says. Well, we're going to be back up there 4 times for Wednesday night lives. I'm looking forward to them. You can bet we will bring in some guests. We will give away some prizes, and we will have some great food. All right. Going to wrap this one up. Once again, Merry Christmas, my friends. It is truly a blessing. God has blessed me not only with a Savior, but God has blessed me with a job that I love, a very long career that I'm fortunate to have, and He's blessed me with people like you who support what I'm doing, who listen to the radio show, who listen to the podcasts, who join me on these live streams on social media. I am truly a blessed man. So I thank you very, very much for that. When it comes time to, actually Christmas, I will probably make one post and then you're not going to see me for a while because I'm going to go offline and enjoy my family. All right. Hi, my friends. Again, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And thank you for joining me on this Christmas edition of Wednesday Night Live.